Hello, hello. TGIF, if you will. I'm in retail, so I still work on the weekends. So Friday is a little more complicated for moi, but TGIF. And, you know, we made it through our first week back to school in my house. Oh, bear with me as I have to... What, babe? Almost. Well, I mean, yeah, fair enough. I guess almost. You're right. I probably shouldn't count my chickens. We are almost through the first week of school. Almost to the first weekend of back to school. And I have got, you know, some work stuff. So I'm going to, I don't want to get into it, but we're a little short-staffed at the moment. So that's fun. That's a fun thing to deal with on top of everything else. But I'm going to go ahead and get I've got my boots are now done in terms of their glittering. So I'm going to brush off. Last session we did the pink with the Vieux Carré confetti. We did rosé color. We did Ice Ice Baby Blue with Vieux Carré confetti. And we did rosé colored glasses, also with Vieux Carré confetti. And we have our little fences that we wired those together into a little V and a little hot glue, a little V, and then we spray painted them. And by we, I mean me. I did not take the camera out to the spray paint because it would have been kind of not a particularly engaging video. So we've got our little pieces of wire. I've got one black wire per fence. We did one of them. We went ahead and already did her. We already put the fence on her. She still needs the trim along the bottom edge. So I've got my hot glue gun to trim the edge. She's warming up. So while the hot glue gun warms up, I'm going to put the fences onto the girls. Oh, let me finish all the brushing. I put the cart ahead of the horse a little bit there. Let me brush them, because before you do any kind of like embellishment, you want to do a good brushing. Anything that's loose, you want to get off there. You want to be gluing your trim onto a glittered shoe, not onto loose glitter, because it'll just sort of shift and scooch around, and that's not what we want. We want a nice, secure glue situation. We want the things we make to be cohesive, to stick together. She's really pretty. She's really fun. So I've got this trim. It is pink and gold, and I really love it. And we don't currently have it at Craft Culture, but we're gonna, because I love it. And so we're gonna trim. She's gonna get trimmed kind of interesting because she's shaped kind of interesting. The others are just gonna get trim along the lower edge. I am not going to put trim on the top edge because the fence is gonna go there, and I think it's gonna look weird to have the fence like on top of the trim. It's gonna look less like a mini fence that occurred in nature. There's always there are these weird balances you kind of have to sort of feel your way out. So like when one of them I talk about a lot, when you're making fake food, when you're making glittered fake food, you want it to look real, but not like too real. Because if it looks too real, it kind of gets a little bit like, not gross is a strong word, but it gets a little bit visually unappealing if it looks too realistic, you know? So you want it to be artistic, but recognizable. You want it to be like, oh yeah, that's mayonnaise on that po' boy, but you don't want to be like, ooh, that's that big puddle of white gooey substance is making me uncomfortable. Trim. And when I have directionality, I am going to kind of reverse them, if that makes sense. So I do kind of pay attention to the direction that the little waves kind of flow so that they kind of move back and forth. So GIMP kind of has a directionality to it. The coils go in one direction. So that is incredibly nitpicky, and you do not need to lose any brain cells to overthinking that. But I am the queen of overthinking things, so Welcome to my kingdom. Okay. 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 She's gonna be cute. I like that I took a risk on this kind of funky shaped shoe. I was like, I just don't know. And she's gonna be really cute. She's gonna look adorable. All right, I do still need moss, and I have a few more bead strands that I need to do. I've been doing those a little bit here and there, but I haven't had like a ton of time with everything that's been going on, logistically at work and at home. So I haven't finished the beads, but I'm pretty close to finish the beads, and then we'll be able to like put it all the way together. She's cute. She's a cutie patootie. I tried to say cutie pie and cutie patootie, and so I said it very weird. I was like a cutie patootie. But then again, I find that when I'm saying stuff, I'm like, ooh, that came out weird. And then I rewatch because I check to make sure like I didn't say anything weird that I need to correct. Or like, I don't know. I just check that I didn't reveal something I wasn't supposed to. Like muses are not supposed to say the theme. It's a secret until the day of, and I'm usually pretty careful, but I rewatch just to see if in the heat of the moment I said or did something weird. I also rewatch because I sometimes make decisions about what I'm going to do design-wise, and then they fall out of my brain. But if I go back, I can be like, okay, I did actually figure that out, and this is where I landed on that. Cool. Alrighty, she's looking good. She's looking good. And I'm going to trim them first and then put the fences on. I did do the fence on one already for like demo reasons, so that if you're watching at home, you kind of know. I know everybody already kind of knows what it looks like to trim an edge, but I thought it might be useful for people to see me do the fence, just in case you're working on these at the same, that helps you sort of control your own pace a little bit. I want to show you what it looks like as I'm working on it, but you might be like, hey, I got a lot of time this week. My kids are back in school. I'm gonna go ahead and rock and roll all the way through my whatever I'm doing in terms of my bead fences. Or if you're watching it later, you might be like, okay, my parade is soon. Let's go. I don't want to sit here and goof around. I want to get going. All right, so she is all trimmed. She is going to get her fence. The fences are basically all the same. Cute, cute, cute. Nice. And I'm going to be threading the wire through and kind of twisting it to kind of sew this together. And I'm going to twist as I go. That one's pretty wide. I could shorten it up, but I'll just leave it wide. That's fine. I'll fill in with some moss. I'll drop my hot glue gun in my lap. Oof, okay. So yeah, I'm just weaving this through the holes in the fence to kind of sew it through. And I'm twisting it so it's strong. I will add a little hot glue later, but not quite yet. Doo, doo, doo. Doo, doo, doo. And I didn't cut the wire in half here. It's probably a good idea to cut the wire in half so it's more manageable, but on this occasion, I'm just using the whole piece of wire to like sew it together. Oh no, the train jumped off the track. Let me push her down a little bit. Okay, okay, okay. Making her sit kind of where I want her to sit. Okay. Okay. Just threading that through, and then we can add a little hot glue to kind of firm up our positioning. The trick to this is like you don't want to yank it, you don't want to bend it too hard, too fast, and kind of make it, what's the word? Like the plastic fence has a little give in it, but not like a truckload, so it's not like super flexible. So you just want to go slow. You just want to give it a chance to kind of bend around the shoe instead of like forcing it too hard, too fast. Okay. Little wiring at the bottom. Perfect, perfect. I've got some pieces of wire here that I'll tuck them in. I'm like, I could cut those short, but I hate to lose a single centimeter of support. So I'm just going to bend them into place with my little pliers. It helps. It really is sort of like sewing them together. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. That looks good. That looks good. And if we've got some little nooks and crannies that are a little out of alignment or busted looking, that's okay. Okay. Wrap them around. Nice. Beautiful. She looks good. I like her there. She's positioned. Let me just, I'm going to snip a little bit of the fence over here because where the zipper is hitting is kind of making it a little weird. Okay. All right, that looks great. I love that. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue right now so she doesn't go wandering off. But I'm eventually going to put a little moss over this to kind of make it look more naturalistic and also provide a little bit more structure. But for now, she is good to go. She is beautiful. It's hard to see against the dark of I'm trying to like crouch. But she's pretty cute. I love her a lot. Yeah, she looks great. Alignment looks good. She's kind of sitting mostly even. Get her where I want her. Okay. Okay. Yeah, looks good. All right. Okie dokies. So I already put the fence on this one. I'll add a little hot glue to her. I'm just sticking the hot glue gun kind of in the holes and letting some little dollops of glue kind of, the fence is pretty tight, so it doesn't really want to scooch around a ton. All right, and so now I'm going to put the trim on. It is easier to put the trim on first and then the fence because the fence is a little more delicate. It's not like super fragile, but it is possible to kind of snap the little pokies off, so I don't want to be too rough with it. But I'm just going to be gentle while I do this. She just needs a little border of trim along her lower edge. Pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty. And then I will write Muses 2027 on her, probably in the same gold of this trim. I'll probably do like Almond Raw because it is a pretty brassy gold on this trim. But I'm going to see how I feel about that. A boot is kind of a big surface area, so it's kind of tough sometimes to figure out where exactly I want to place my lettering. But I have a stash of 4 of them, so I can maybe play with it a little. But I won't do the lettering on these until I've gotten everything else in place, because I sometimes do some beads like falling down, and I might do, I don't know. We're going to see. That's really pretty, though. Look how pretty. Isn't that just so lovely? It's very Once Upon a Time in New Orleans vibes, which, you know, we love it. We love a little romanticism about the city. It kind of keeps us going when the potholes jostle our cars and all the other ridiculous stuff. You gotta enjoy the romanticism to get you through the cynicism. Alrighty, but she is beauteous. I am gonna give her, well, I'll wait till they're all done. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a whisper with my heat gun just to help the plastic kind of melt a little. I don't want to like melt the plastic, but if I put it on there and I warm it with the heat gun, it'll be a little more rounded and a little less, you know, flat. And she's looking a little flat, so I might put somebody in there. Who do I want to put in there? I'm out of the tall, skinny jars that I was using. Could I put are you gonna work? Whoop, nope, you are not gonna work. I accidentally did a thing there that was not the thing. Who's gonna, I want to put, I've got my empty paint can. She might be the right, are you the right size? Are you my mother? It's not terrible, but it's not perfect. I'm gonna have to hunt a little bit because she's kind of a weird shape. I want to find a piece. I want to put the bottle in there to make it a little rounded because she's looking a little squishy, and I think she'd be a little bit prettier if she was a little rounder. But because she's a little unusual, I don't know exactly what jar size to put in there. Will you? Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, y'all. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for bearing with me as I figure it out. Let me just... I can leave her for now, but I am going to want to put something in there. Just looking around, hoping that the exact right thing just leaps into my hands. You know, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get those little carnival miracles in your craft room and you're looking around, you're like, I need this one thing. And the universe is like, this one thing? Is this your card? All right, she's been sitting for a little while. So I'm going to take her out. She's got a decent amount of rounding. I do want to hit her with the heat gun, so maybe I'll do that. But since I just put her on, all right. Whoop. It's just a little bit the wrong size. But that's okay. That looks pretty good. I think that's going to hold it enough to kind of just round it out a little. I'm just trying to round it out a little. The shape is going to be very horse eye-ish. What we would call a navette in the rhinestone world. So it is going to be that kind of horse eye shape, that kind of, slightly pointy oval, but that's okay. I just want a little roundness to it to kind of give it that boot silhouette at the top. So it isn't like boot and then pressed flat by the fences. All right. Okay. 2 more to trim. Eee. And I was hoping to get a little more work done on my bead tree, but I just don't think that's in the cards today because I got things to take care of over in glitter heaven. So much going on. We are getting close to, we are less than 2 months out from the Great Glitter Pumpkin Patch, which is a whole thing. It's like a little art market. You know, some of our vendors have little tables and sell their wares at the Glitter Pumpkin Patch. And also we glitter a whole bunch of pumpkins, like decor pumpkins. So they're not like live pumpkin, not live pumpkins. They're not real pumpkins that are going to rot. They're nice quality pressed foam pumpkins. So you can collect them and use them year after year. Because we always say, like, in New Orleans, a real pumpkin is going to rot, within the first, 10 minutes of hitting your porch. So in New Orleans, you want a foam pumpkin is probably the move in our fair city, our humid city. So we put out a bunch of them. We decorate them. We embellish them. We put cute little appliques on them. We make cute transfers that say fun Halloween-y things, and so forth and so on. Sometimes we do some sculptural stuff. Sometimes we do some, they're little works of art. And sometimes big works of art. Pumpkins can come in many sizes. And we put them out, and folks come, and we have people who collect them year after year. So we have regulars who come back every year, and then we have new people, and it's just fun. It's like a pumpkin patch. You walk around in the yard. We have that cute little green space on the side of the craft culture building. If you've never been, you should. It's very cute. We've got that cute little green space. And so it's like a pumpkin patch. You go and you see all the pumpkins spread out, and you see them all kind of hanging out, and you pick out your pumpkin and you bring it home. So it's like a pumpkin patch, but glittery. I always say it's a New Orleans spin on a autumn classic. And there's usually other stuff going on, you know. We do a big photo op arch, and every year we pick a different theme. Our theme, we did Beetlejuice. When the Beetlejuice sequel came out, we did like a Beetlejuice, like a Burton kind of vibe with like black and white stripes and stuff. And all right, so these two girls are trimmed. I have plenty of my pretty pink and gold trim left, which is great because I love that trim and need to stock it at Craft Culture, but you know, one thing at a time. Sufficient unto each day the evil therein, as we say. Okay. All right, gently, gently. Okay. Not too hard, too fast. All right, looking good. And the bottle's already in there, so that kind of helps it hold its shape. Whew. All right, but now we're gonna wire it. I do kind of hold my breath a little bit because I don't want the plastic to snap. I don't think I've ever had that happen, but I'm just aware that plastic is, you know, less flexible than foam or rubber or something, so I don't want the plastic to snap. Okay. Oh, I accidentally threaded it through the wrong hole on the fence and it was sitting a little weird, but that's okay. All right, so yeah, we've got 2 months till we do the Great Glitter Pumpkin Patch. This year it is the weekend of the 10th and the 11th, so Saturday, Sunday, and then the 17th and 18th. So coming up, coming on up. So we got to do prep for that. Even though it's August and it's sweaty out there, fall is technically coming and we want to be prepared for it. All right. And me and some of my gal pals are going to be in Swampus together this year. We're starting a little walking crew and Swampus is going to be our little debut. So I need to do my Swampus costume and my throws for Swampus. So I'll probably talk about that a little bit in here, even though it's not kind of part of the shoe marathon. I kind of like to show y'all what I'm working on, and I'm going to be working on that. Swampus is extremely sustainability focused, which I love. Absolutely love that. So I'm going to be stringing some glass beads, which I'm very into. I collect the vintage glass beads. So I've always kind of had a little bit of a soft spot for those, for glass beads. Beautiful. Perfect. She's gorgeous. Isn't she cute? Isn't she lovely? I'm going to put a little hot glue, but I'll wire this last one first while I'm like on a roll. On a roll with honor roll. Okay, I have just one more fence to put in place. So yeah, I'll have my Swampus stuff to work on a little bit for me and my ghouls. All right, okay. Okay. A little bit of holding of breath because we don't want to snap nothing. Gently twist it to secure it. All right, and she's secure. Not bad at all. I feel like I'm gonna stress y'all out and be like, don't break the fences, and it's not that serious. Just be careful. You know, and if you break the fences, you can wire them together, you know. It's New Orleans. Things break, we wire them together, and we keep rolling. It is a city where we kind of think, oh, see, I broke a little piece at the very end. That's okay. Now I get to live my values. Okay. All right, so I'm going to... Let's see, I can't wire it there, but that's fine. I'll wire it down here and I'll add a little glue in the spot that it kind of snapped a little bit. Little snaps. So I'm just being careful with my wire. Alrighty. Alrighty. And I'll add, like I said, I'll add a little more glue in that spot. And I'll probably like cover it with a little bit of moss when we get to the moss portion of our program. Okay. All right. Good. Let me make it scooch it down a little. Nice. All right, let me try to press that together. Looks good. Looks great. We love it. And the wire, you know, does a good job. You can't, I think with just hot glue alone, you probably can't get this fence to sit the way you want. But with a little bit of some engineering with the wire, you'll be Gucci. Okay. She's looking great. I have a couple of spots where the wire got like kind of peeled a little bit, and so you can see the silver of the wire a little bit. That's no problem. If I want to put some black paint on that, I can put some black paint on that. If I want to put moss over that, I'll put moss over that. But my girls are looking so gorgeous. I'm going to add a little hot glue in the spots. Or do I? Let me shift that a little bit. Okay, perfect. I noticed that like the seam of the boot wasn't exactly in alignment. Okay, but that looks great. And I'm very pleased with my 4 girls. They're looking good. All they need is their beads. We've reached the portion of the shoe where I start saying, all we need to do now, and then I list like 9 things. All we need to do now is finish our beads. Each of these needs at least 16 strands of beads, but I'll probably have a few like fallen. Even though we don't pick beads up off the ground, it kind of looks cute for the scene if there's a few little scattered beads around. So we need 16 beads for each of these. Whoops. I put a little hot glue and it dripped down, so I'm gonna, not where you go. Not your spot. So these need their lettering, and I can probably direct letter them. Maybe if I want to make a transfer because I want to do a 2-tone letter, I might do that. Ooh, there's actually a font. I'm going to hit my friend up and see if she'll share her font with me because there's a 2-tone font she uses that would be very, very beautiful for these. But we need our lettering. However we do it, if we direct letter or we make a transfer, we need to letter these. We need our lettering. We need 16 beads on each of these and probably a few more because I want to do a few little like scattered. We need lettering, beads, moss. That's really not a bad list. That's not a bad list at all. And then they'll be Gucci. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, that math didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know where my extra one came from. Wouldn't that be lovely if they just propagated like that? All right, so that is 4 bead fence boots basically done. All they need is lettering, moss, and beads. And I'm in decent shape on the beads. I have a lot of the beads kind of done. I'm more than halfway on the beads. So thank you all for joining me. That is going to be it for me today. So as I mentioned, I got to go take care of business over in glitter heaven. Got to keep glitter on the shelves and products restocked and all that fun, good stuff so that everybody can, get ready for the short carnival. So thank you all for joining me. I will see you guys again very soon. We're rolling through August. I hope back to school is treating everyone all right. It's treating me all right. I can't complain. We're handling it pretty well. Chez moi, and I am relieved because it's always kind of, it's a time. That's all for me. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.